We're going to find the sum of the following numbers. You have to understand what the word sum means is to add. We're going to add these numbers. Now, the way we're going to do this is we're going to start right here. This number, 254.8, the 8 is in the tenths place, and I know that because the decimal is right there, and the 8 is one unit over to the right from the decimal, so that's in the tenths place. So I'm going to put that 8 in the tenths column. The 4 is one space to the left of the decimal, so that's in the ones place. So I'm going to put that in the ones column. That 4 goes in the ones column. The 5 goes in the tens column, and the 2 goes in the hundreds column. And this particular number here has no hundreds. There's nothing there. So we could put a 0 there if we wanted to, and put a 0 in the hundreds column. And of course the decimal is right there between that 4 and that 8. Now this other number, I'm going to start right here. That 5 is 53.67. The 5 represents 5 tens, so that goes in the tens column. And if we notice, there's nothing here in this place value. That's the hundreds place. So we could put a 0 right there. We could put a 0 in that column. The 3 goes in the ones column because it's 3 ones. 53 is 5 tens and 3 ones. Then of course the decimal is right there, and the 6 represents 6 tenths, and the 7 represents 7 hundredths, so it goes in the hundredths column. So now when I add all this stuff up, I'll draw my line a little bit darker there. When I add all this stuff up, I go from right to left, adding. 0 plus 7 hundredths is 7 hundredths, and 8 plus 6, that's 14. Well, that 4 goes in that tenths column, and I get a 1 carried over to the other column. So I add up my ones. That's 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 more is 8. And then when I add the tens column, 5 plus 5 tens is 10 tens, otherwise known as 100. So I'm going to write down a 0 and carry a 1. And then 100 plus 200 is 300. So the sum of these numbers then, of course, is 308.47. And, of course, I put my decimal in the answer, 308.47. Okay, here we find the sum of the following numbers. Well, like we said previously, the sum means add, so we're going to add these three numbers. We're going to add 31 plus 10.5 plus 0.89. Now, a way to do this is to, you got to line the decimals up. So how about we start just lining decimals up right now? We've got three numbers, and each one of them have a decimal. And let's just line the decimals up. Now, when I look at this number here, 31, you may think, well, there's no decimal there. But, in fact, it is. This 31, the 1 is in the tens place, so that goes right there. And the 3 is in the, I think I said the 1 is in the tens place, but the 1 is in the ones place. The 3 is in the tens place, and it goes right there. Now, of course, this number has no tenths, and it has no hundredths. Okay? Now I'm going to add to that 10.5. Well, I've already got my decimal in place, so I just write things accordingly. The 0 is in the ones place, 1 is in the tens place, and this 5 is in the tenths place, so it goes to the right of the decimal. And this number has no hundredths, so I could put a 0 in there for the hundredths place. Now this number here is 0.89. Well, there's a 0 in the ones place, and it's not necessary, but there's a 0 in the hundredths place as well, even though I didn't write it. And the tenths place, there's an 8, and the hundredths place, there's a 9. Okay, so I've got all my stuff lined up. I got all my hundredths lined up together. I got my tenths lined up. My ones and my hundreds are lined up. Okay, so 0 plus 0 plus 9 is 9 hundredths. And in my ones column, I have 5 and 8. It's 13 ones, so that means I write down a 3 and carry my 1. And I'm going to bring my decimal straight down. And I add my ones column. 1 plus 1 is 2. I got 2 ones. And now I add my tens column. 3 plus 1 is 4. So the sum of those three numbers is 42.39.